Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to another edition of Karaoke QNA. We're here today.
NA, North America?
N-A, like A. Like,
A?
Are you making fun of my accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna.
The Southern guy.
We're gonna
the
have them
Pennsylvania
get shirts
girl,
that you say
the
Q
Jersey-
and I have an N, and then
Q,
whoever
A.
our guest is has an A.
on it, yeah.
QNA.
Yeah, you know.
I'm the A.
Hey, sing and spell.
Yeah.
We'll do some sing and spells. What we'll do.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show today. We're glad you guys are with us. Hope you're enjoying what we're doing. The last couple of weeks have been crazy. We've got Joe Vangieri from Digitrax. A couple of weeks ago, you guys remember the summit, 2015.
Yay.
What a great summit we had. Last week we had Kat with us. Cool guy. Kat's a cool guy.
He's awesome.
Our Wesley Sipes guy. Yeah.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's a great guy. First week was our introduction week. Hope you guys are. You're probably laughing at us, but that's what you know. What you're watching us, and that's what's great. We're hoping to bring you some information. We want to dispel rumors. We want to talk information. We want to send you in places where you can go hunt things. We want you to ask questions. Our email address is KaraokeQnA.
Karaoke QNA. Karaoke QNA.
Yeah, it's another day of. Were we day drinking again?
Gotta write it down for you.
We were definitely drinking again.
Probably day drinking again, yeah.
This is part of
Karaoke
this business.
QNA@gmail.com. So hopefully you've got that saved somewhere.
You have the karaoke.
Yeah, I've got the karaoke thing going on, which is another product that's really cool that we're going to bring more information about that.
We appreciate the promotion.
Yeah, we thank you for giving up some studio time. These guys have been great to us at Digitrax, giving up some studio time. Part of the Sonox Studios in South Knoxville that's been gracious to provide this for us. You guys have heard about Joe, and you've probably heard, you've seen him at the summits, and you've seen if you've been to any of the trade shows in our industry. If you haven't met Joe, shame on you. You need to meet Joe. He's a cool guy, and I'm not saying that because he's sitting right here with us. People know Joe from Digitrax, but we want to find out a little more about Joe's background in our industry. Because he just didn't show up one day and go, boom, here I am. I now have this company. So give us a little background. Where'd you come from?
Well, it was the garden spot of the universe. It would be Belleville, New Jersey. And I was born in the hospital if you saw the movie Jersey Boys and you saw Frankie Valli's home in Stephen Crane Village.
Yeah,
that's where I was born. I've been in music for a minute. I mean, I started off playing in bands as a kid. I played in wedding bands. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
And then into the late 70s, I started playing in punk rock bands.
I can't picture you.
It was a lot of fun.
Did you have long hair or spikes?
No, I had a mohawk. It was, take this thing and kind of go like this with it, like here, and it was kind of like that. It was kind of like it went up like that, and it did some wild stuff. And there was a lot more of it too, and it was thicker. And cool. Well, I played in punk bands, and I played all the clubs like that you would see. Like CBGB's was a big club for us, and there was clubs in Newark, New Jersey that you never heard about, but like the Dirt Club. There was a few big bands that came out of there. Smithereens came out of there. Spin Doctors came out of there. So a lot of big bands came out of there. But my career path was rock star, and it was a good career path. And then in about 1986, my career path changed dramatically when I got married. And then my wife wanted to have a baby, and she's like, "Yeah, this rock star thing is really going to work out well for you, honey." And she was working at a startup in New York, MTV. My wife Kathy was working at MTV,
okay,
and
cool.
She was working in PR there, and I was working for a small little outfit called Kaltman Boyce Incorporated, KBI Systems, and we sold professional broadcast equipment. And as part of that, I was selling to the head ends of cable systems, the big multi-laser disc changers. And being an info geek at the time, there was a thing called the Video Disc Monitor, which was a fanzine. And in the bottom corner of the fanzine, it said this thing, and it phonetically spelled out karaoke. And it said kara, like empty or open, and okay, orchestra, empty orchestra. I was like, wow, and they have discs. So, hey, it's Joe Vangieri. Hey, Joe, I called my boys, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I talked to my rep for Pioneer. He said, yeah, they're thinking about bringing karaoke to the United States. And I said, wow, can I get one of these units to test out? And I said, I'd really like to. And I think I was number 3 Laserdisc salesman, U.S. for professional. And I was selling it. that was at the time of light pens and telegraphic touchscreens.
You might have sold me mine.
I sold a lot of them. I mean, we sold a lot, and then they had distributors. I never became a distributor because I really didn't know what I was getting into. It was like an accidental little empire for me because one thing led to another, and we ended up with the first karaoke machine. I literally took it to my father's Italian American club, the Fiorenti Club in Belleville, New Jersey. And I set it up, and all the guys, what is this? No one's going to do this. And then Uncle Sal comes up to me, and Uncle Sal goes, got any Sinatra? I go, yeah. Put one Sinatra song on.
There
it was
you go.
2 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm like, Dad, I'm going home. Don't worry, we got this. And I was like, I left the club. I went home. I woke up the next morning. I called my cousin Michael. I go, Michael, I think we got a hit. He goes, what do you mean? I think your father and my father are at the club. Yeah, my father was just talking about it. What is it? I said, we got a new business. He goes, what are we going to do? We're going to sell these to bars. So I went out to bars saying, yes, just spend $4,000 in a bar. And I was like, well, that's a really good concept, but how about Tuesday nights, what it would cost me? And I'm like, I took the thing and I divided it by 15 to rent it, and I figure if it's worth my time, it's $475 a night. And the guy said, okay. He goes, I'd like to take, can you give me 90 days? Can you give me 90 days?
3 months.
I was like, where's your contract? I said, I'll be back tomorrow. Went home at night, and it was before the internet, so it was like, figure out a contract.
You're scribbling out a contract.
We're in the library, pulling out books on how to write so we ended up writing our own first contracts. They were probably horrible, but
not binding.
But not forget it. But anyway, so we ended up doing it, and then I had one system, and that was working. And then I went to my wife. I go, I don't know what we're doing. And when I first got it, when I first responded to the Pioneer thing, I ended up going to. Called my rep, and he said, hey, we're going to be in New York. It was a Mets game, right? And they're doing the 7th inning stretch with their thing. I said, oh, yeah, a buddy of mine's got a club in New York. A buddy of mine didn't have a club in New York. A friend of mine took pocket songs. Okay, this is before internet, before downloads, before anything. Took the Music -1 tracks from pocket songs, took a thing called a Chiron, and made videos out of them. And there were VHS tapes. Every single one of those scrolled songs. There was a library of hundreds of VHS tapes. And that's how they did the karaoke. And it's this club sing-along in Manhattan. You got to go back to 86, 87. It was 1987. It was New York, and it was down by Wall Street. It was like a really hip club for like brokers and like really big-time money guys, And so, I show up in front of the club, and Pioneer comes rolling up with a truck. I don't know anyone in this club. And the guy from Pioneer goes, oh, we'd love to go meet your friend, the owner. My friend's not the owner. My friend did the Chiron, who did the VHS cassettes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm 27. I'm freaking out. I'm sweating. Back then you wore suits all the time. And I'm like soaked through because I'm so nervous. I go up to the bouncer. I think it was $40-something in my pocket. I pull every cent I had. I put it in his hand, and I shake his hand. I go, you don't know me from a hole in the wall. You see those guys over there from Pioneer? They want to do a promotion with your boss's club. What's your boss's name? David, whatever. I forgot his name. I said, you got to do me a favor. Tell David, my name is Joe. My wife is Kathy. My daughter's Gia. You remember that? He repeated it to me. I said, go in there and ask me how the wife and kids are doing, and like we're old friends. And he goes, what's the deal? I said, tell him the deal. He's going to work it out on his own. Comes down. He goes, come on, David, let's see you. Come on, guys, come upstairs. We went to the office. Hey, Joe, how are you? How's Kathy? How's Gia doing? I was doing great. And it was one of these things because I think I just read a book, How to Swim with the Sharks and Not Get Eaten Alive. Yep. And in there he said to remember about birthdays and people's names and go and set things up before. And I was a young sales guy, so I was trying desperately to do anything to make the sale.
Yeah.
And it made it through. But the rest of the night was surreal. Now, I'm no stranger to like really weird things. And I've been in punk bands, so I was a musician. So we encountered a lot of new and unusual situations. I get to this bar, and then we go out and we eat. First we go out eat Japanese food. I've never had Japanese food. I've had it once or twice in my life, and I'm watching the whole chopstick thing. Thank God I play the drums, and I'm like figuring it out. And all of a sudden they bring out the first dish, and they go, oh, Joseph. And I get it, and I eat it, and everyone claps. I go to the young guy next to me. I go,
what did you eat?
Why are they clapping?
Because you ate it.
He goes, oh, that's fugo. I go, what's fugo? He goes, oh, that's the liver of blowfish. If they cut it wrong and you eat it, you could die. And I'm
wonderful.
Like, oh, wonderful. I was like, no shit. He's like, yeah, no shit. I'm like, dude, no one ever really dies. It's like an old custom. These guys are really good at it. I'm like, okay, great. So anyway, the whole night goes by. First of all, in this Japanese restaurant, I am the only white dude in the whole place. Everybody's Japanese. Then we hop in the car, and now at the time, it was 1987. I've got a 1984 Chevy Cavalier. The president of Pioneer goes, I'll ride with Joseph. We are drunk as anything. And we're driving my '84 Cavalier Type 10. It was a red car. I thought I was a big.
Back then they didn't give DUIs.
I know. And in Manhattan, I'm driving in Manhattan, going down one way. Anyway, we end up going to the next thing. It's a brownstone. We get there as an elevator, and they said in Japanese, like, yeah, Joe sent us. Go upstairs. The elevator opens, and there is this posh club. And I was like, wow. It was all like Japanese dudes and models. I'm going,
a lot of money.
Wow, there's a lot of money in this room. We sit down, we do karaoke. Oh, Joseph's going to sing. I said, what do you have to sing? I said, we got some Elvis. I got to sing some Elvis. So I sang an Elvis song. I think it was my first song.
What was it?
I think it was Lonesome Tonight. I was like, and I butchered it. But they were very cordial, and they were like, you should really practice. Because it's a big deal.
You don't sing no more.
No,
You
drink again. It was like... But it was interesting because it was my first experience with karaoke. And then what happened was we started buying the laser discs. And I was talking on that karaoke forum about it, and I think I misquoted. I said there was only 4, but there was 28 songs. I went back, they're in my garage still.
Right.
I still have mine too.
So there's 28 songs on each of those discs, and I think it was our dealer cost was $90 or $87.50, and the retail was $125 or $150.
It was $150.
$150. It was $150.
Like $127.
$150 or $160 was actual retail.
But I remember then I had bought my first setup, and then I ended up buying 15 sets of discs, 15 sets of the full Pioneer separate. Remember then. Pioneer, because Daishi Kosho DK came out, and then I had to buy DK because I got competition. And like when I first went out, it was $475 a night. And then went $475, $375, $275. And I'm like, guys, and I would go to all my competitors, going like, bro, I don't mind you beat I love it, but like
don't go below
don't come on,
killing us all.
And you had how many songs at that time? Probably.
There was 9 discs in the original 40 DK discs. Yeah, so there was 40. I don't know how many on those DK. I forget.
I think there's like 21 on the DKs. Maybe.
And so I remember Little Sister was my other DK. That was my go-to. Little Sister.
Yeah. And so you didn't have 125,000 songs.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you had less than 2,000 songs. You didn't have that many.
And it was a blast. I mean, and then we used to give a cassette. I'm probably breaking all sorts of laws. You can't get me. It's more than 7 years. We used to give cassettes away of recordings to everyone that recorded. We had our name on it, Laser Entertainment Group, Nutley, New Jersey, and our telephone number. And we got more parties
from that. Yeah.
I mean, we were up to and like
the handouts. Yeah.
And one of my partners, her name is Sue Fabish. She has a shameless plug. She's got a great musical. It's called Motherhood the Musical. The same people that did Menopause the Musical are producing it for her, and it's been touring the country, and she's wonderful. But anyway, I had this great cast. We called it the cast. Actually, they weren't called hosts with us. We called everyone was part
cast.
They were cast, and they
were
hosting the
Broadway,
show.
So it just comes.
Everything was we called everything the cast. And everyone was part of the cast, and how are we going to do this? So there's me. I was like, so we had no template to go by. I had this Japanese club that was like, there were hoochie mamas that were models that would. Hoochie mama. So, but they were beautiful. And anyway, but we didn't know how to run a show, so we were like, okay, let's figure this out. I was like, all right, we got to do this like the Mickey Mouse Club and make everyone feel good, and everyone that sings make them feel good. And then we did that, and that was KEYMOUSE.
We gotta write a check.
Miska, Muska, Mouseketeer, Mouse Cartoon Time.
No, that wasn't like that big. So
we're okay.
I think you're good.
So we ended up doing that, and then we built it up, and then we had about 57 gigs a week. I remember that was our height.
Wow.
And that would give us. Then we did green screen karaoke for bar mitzvahs, and at the Beatle Fest we put people into Beatle videos, and we had a blast with karaoke. And I ran that company from 87 to about 93, 94, and then I sold. It started undercutting. I had a rehearsal studio in Montclair, New Jersey, which is still there. It's the Meat Locker in Montclair. If you ever look it up, it's like the hardcore punk venue of all hardcore punk venues. It's still around. I still go visit my buddy Roy there, and he's still doing it, still going strong. But that was my first blush with karaoke, and it was wonderful for me because I mean we made a living for my family. We did really well. Then I ended up selling that, and then I did a stint from 94 to like 99. I worked for my godfather, had an internet startup. It was like the time of Netscape, and I was an info geek, so he hired me, and I like to sell, so he brought me into his company, and I did that, and until 99, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I found this fella online in Luleå, Sweden. His name is Jörgen Hedberg, and we started which was the very first digital DJ company, and was PC DJ. And I ran that, and in about 2001 or 2002, when the MP3 plus G first came out, we were introduced some fella up in Canada. He had some technology. We talked to him, and we incorporated that into our PC DJ offering, and we did the PC KJ. PC KJ outsold PC DJ.
No kidding.
We were like, holy hats, this thing is going great. So that went really well, and to this day, and I sold PC DJ.
That was about the beginning of the
conversion
from CDG to the conversion. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I remember at the time, like, seeing people, how do I convert this over? I think I may have talked to Kurt early on, even asked him. He's like, I have no idea. Like, no one knew any idea.
Yeah.
Fast forward even from 2001 now to 2015, and we still just about know what we're doing in this area. Everyone, collectively. I mean, and we're really trying to come to grips with it to understand it. I mean, I ended up here, then I sold PC DJ in 2006, and I was consulting ever since. And I was the turnaround guy, because I was hit with a horrible situation. We started PC DJ, and we were funded. I think we raised $9 million the first year for PC DJ, and then I had the record pool, and I raised another $5 million for the record pool, and we combined both companies. And then the internet bubble burst, and Lehman Brothers and Power Ventures. This is March of 2000, and I'm a year into this business, and they come in from Power Ventures Korea and Lehman Brothers. They're each putting $10 million in a piece. This is kind of crazy money, right? They're each putting $10 million in a piece. It's going to bridge us into what's known as an initial public offering. And in my private talks with the brokers and stuff, they're saying, Joe, we need to take out X amount of your stock. We're going to give you like $25 million. And I'm like, wow. It's like I'm pinching myself. Like, this is like my dream come true. Wow, everything is great. I was like, wow, God is good. And I forgot all about the part God wrote about Job. Forgot that whole chapter. I was like, it was not even thinking about it. Well, Job unfolded for me, because in front of me at our conference room table, everyone dressed in suits. Now, mind you, I have 98 employees, VisioSonic, we're all excited. There's a party in the other room, because we're getting a check for $20 million, essentially, dollars to bridge us into the IPO. And they respectfully, we wanted to do this in person to you. As soon as I heard the words respectfully and do this in person with you, those involuntary muscles in your back, the ones that start to shake, they started shaking. I got really nervous, and they basically pulled the plug.
And you're watching 25 million do this.
Well, not even that. I was personally, and I watched that
and
go
away.
away.
Personal guarantee.
A person guaranteed for $1.8 million. So now I'm like,
that'd make me nervous too.
Yeah.
So.
When you look up the F word in the dictionary, there's Joe's smiling face next to it. I mean, I was like the poster boy.
I'm like the Christmas story, the kid when he drops the lug nuts.
I was like, what do I do? I know. What do I do? And I'm like, what do I do? So I had to go in the other room, and I'm a little bit of a jokester. So I go in the other room and go, hey guys, yeah, they pulled the money, and we're gonna close down. I got to fire everyone. I had to take my Amex card because I had no money in the bank. I had to take my Amex card and put the last payroll on my Amex and figure out what I was gonna do. I said, look, here's the situation. And I stood, and a bunch of people. I was like, please, when you leave, don't steal everything, because I got to see what I can sell. And whoever wants to show back up on Monday and is willing to rethink this with me, come in Monday. This was on a Friday.
Wow.
And 12 people showed up on Monday.
Really?
Yeah, I had.
That's awesome.
I had. You got to understand, 60,000 square feet. I mean, I had a record distribution guy. I was still selling vinyl. I had Subsonic Records. We had a bunch of hit dance songs. We did breakbeat. We were in Tampa, Florida, and it was miserable. I mean, my record label, I had to sell it off to make the money because I wanted to keep the software company alive. Jeez. And wow, talk about entrepreneurial 101, like being thrown. I'm 40 now. Now I was 40 then.
Right.
And I was like, wow, okay, Dad, what do I do? And he said, well, you either fight it out, son, go call your creditors and get everyone on the phone. God rest my dad's soul, he was so right. I remember there was 246 creditors I had. And out of the 246 creditors, only 2 ended up suing me. So, we healed that. I ended up doing that. Then I ended up consulting. I ended up consulting for a few years. Then I ended up coming up here to what was Chartbuster at the time. Mm-hmm. And I consulted for Chartbuster. Mm-hmm. And I went to the people that Chartbuster owed a boatload of money to. Right. And we turned the company into which now become Digitrax.
Let's talk about Chartbuster. So fast forward. All that happened.
Yeah.
You show up in Knoxville, Tennessee.
So
and you're part of the Chartbuster group.
Well, what happens is PC DJ calls me back. The chairman I'm very good friends with. He's one of my business mentors. His name is Bill O'Callahan, and he's got the most lovely wife on planet Earth, Anna Marquez, and Anna's just a brilliant woman. And Ryan Scher is still over at PC DJ. And I love this crew. They're just nice people. Bill comes over and goes, Bill, come on, Joe, let's work out something. Let's do something with PC DJ. I said, okay, great. We looked at the karaoke, and I contacted Chartbuster. I said, hey, we're really interested. He goes, oh, what do you do there? I said, well, I was the original founder. I sold it, but I'm a consultant now. Fast forward 2 weeks from that, and I get a call back from the two founders of Chartbuster, a husband and wife team, and they called me and they said, hey, we'd like to meet with you. I said, okay, that's great. No, we'll meet with you. Are you available at 12 today? I was like, yeah, okay, I'll expect a call. He goes, no, we're driving down. So they drove from Knoxville, Tennessee down to me in Clearwater, Florida. I met with them, and they were in a pickle. They were having a hard time. And, you know, after the final analysis and being the Monday morning quarterback looking through the 6-foot rear mirror, did I stick enough in one sentence there for you? So, but it's the truth. I mean, how brilliant we are after the fact. But this guy,
2020.
Yeah, and this guy was in a lot of trouble, Hal. I mean, so I was like, okay, this is what we could do. And he owed like $3.5 million. He owed publishers. He owed a lot of people. So,
well, his revenue had slowed down because of
piracy. Yeah, I mean, I evaluated the whole thing, and it was a sea change on going from physical goods to digital, and the amount of theft and hard drives that were available, and oh my goodness, it just goes on for hours, guys.
Right.
Bemoaning the past does not equal the future,
no,
and we need to fix the future.
That's why we're here. That is exactly why we're here.
And we're praise God is right, and we're going to fix the future, and we're working at it. But you know, I went there, and one thing led to another. I was like, well, the name has no goodwill, so we have to get rid of the name and the trademark. So we did, and then I have to go back and get licensing with all of the publishers again, and I did that. I dug in and I re-got licensing, and we've had our ups and downs. I mean, you guys know we've had our ups and downs, and we're on and up right now, and things are going well, you know.
Let me interrupt you for a second. Tell us a little bit about, you know, because Chartbuster had a library of 12,000 plus songs, and all of a sudden those songs became unavailable. And then when you produced the Digitrax library, why is it the library got smaller?
Well, it's a matter of actually having clearances. Now, there's two pieces to a song. There's the actual sound recording, so that's the sound recording, and then this Michigan Cup. And I'm not a Michigan fan; it just happens to be in our stand. So I'm you know,
for you guys in Michigan.
It should either be a Gator or
Go Gators.
It should be a Gator or a Tennessee Vols Power T. Really. I live here, and they bleed orange, so yay, I'm in their church. So here we are. Then there's the sound. There's the intellectual property that underlies it, and that's the words and music. Okay, and then there's the sound recording itself. So we have all these great sound recordings, but each of them need to get approval by publishers. So we've got to now go. We have to go and reach out to publishers to go and clear every song. Okay. And there's no blanket licenses. Right. And I'm an honest, like, I hate when people, your loudness does protest too loudly, right? I don't want to. We're trying to be as honest as humanly possible. Right. We're really trying to do the right thing.
Because you're theoretically a brand new company.
I'm a brand new. Well, yes. Legally, the guys who were foreclosed on it spent like $150,000 just on the legal rudiments to make sure that they could, in fact, secure the catalog. And the music that their foreclosure was based on, because the previous company personally guaranteed the transaction.
Right.
So it's called asset purchase. So they did the asset purchase from the old company, foreclosed on the assets, and it was an open bid. There was people here bidding on it. You know, it was great. I mean, there was a bid process going on, and their bid was the highest. They got back their assets, and then I had to go from ground zero because. One of the big problems was the licensing itself. There's no blame, shame, or regret. I mean, look, the people that own Chartbuster were wonderful people. They were not evil, bad people. They just got stuck in the complexities, and nobody. And I read stuff on these message boards that it's, you know, shame on you guys. I mean, just shame on you, really. I mean, like, get your act together as an adult and behave like business men and women, because it's all business. And, you know, there's your side, there's my side, and then there's the truth, right?
And they're wonderful people, and intentionally would
never do anything bad to anyone. Right. I mean, and most of the people that got in trouble in this industry were not ill-willed, right. Just made mistakes.
And so many people don't really understand how business actually operates.
Yeah.
It's not black and white and cut and dry.
I wish it was. It would be a whole lot easier.
Gosh, it would.
Anyway, so we are... So we go through all of these machinations, probably the wrong words, that has evil intent and underhanded overtones, machination. But there was a lot of back current and a lot of things that we had to get done in order to make this thing go right. So we had to go reach out, and then the team here at the time was 58 people. That 58 came down to 12. And that 12, and then this is something not a lot of people know, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. Actually, I'm kind of proud of it. When I got here, when I signed on as a consultant, I get a lot of money. And because I'm worth it, just because I'm as old as dirt, and no, really, it's the truth, right?
Experience and everything that you've gone through to get where you are.
I understand what I'm doing, and so then we get it to the point where I got to go clear this catalog now,
relicense it,
and so the guys who did the foreclosure say, "Hey, can you sell my catalog?" I said, "No." I said, there was Pocket Songs for sale, there was All Star Karaoke at the time. These guys are all for sale. They're getting like the Chartbuster catalog had a valuation put on it of $14.7 million from, because we own all the multi-tracks. We have we have all of the Harry Fox and all of the mechanical licenses are in place. So we're a really clean catalog when it comes to that. We really cleaned it up. We remastered everything here. We did everything in HD again. So we go out, we clean all of that up, and now we've got to take it back to the marketplace. And we had the first karaoke summit. And I had all these guys flying from all over the world. I figure in my best interest, let's aggregate everyone and put it out there and pay the publishers and clean it all up. Evidently, a lot of people have a lot of different things in their closets, like as skeletons, and a lot of the labels we were working with. There's a big shakedown, and we're seeing the end of it right now up in Canada, and that they're going through, and you know, the poor publishers involved, the labels involved, the KJs involved. It hurts everybody. Everyone's hurting.
Yeah. It's
not good.
It's a very convoluted pile.
It's a car accident. Yeah. Somebody caused it, but everyone got hurt.
Right.
Everybody got hurt. And the EMT guys are even gotten blood on their hands now. So,
wow.
Right, that's a good analogy.
Right.
And that's what's happened. So I have no ill will towards anyone. I just want a level playing field for us to compete. So anyway, Chartbuster, we go clean up the catalog, change the name to Digitrax Entertainment, Karaoke Cloud, the name, and we put up the Karaoke Cloud Pro. And look, I mean, we're at 600 subscriptions, full catalog through PCDJ Karaoke. CompuHost has got like 500 some odd subscriptions. They're doing real well, and they get people buying the songs on their media, which I really love. And I mean, Glenn's a great guy.
I like Glenn.
Man,
I'm a
he's
subscriber.
Consummate professional.
Johnny's going to jump on board with the media drive. As another endorsement on another.
But he deserves it. Glenn deserves it. I mean, he's a great man. I mean. And then K-Jams, Dave Kotler, another great guy. I mean, love Dave to death. He's a forward-thinking individual. The stuff that we've now doing with Karaoke, which I really think the consumer experience, and then being part of the Launch Tennessee, and then being a Tennessean now, and getting behind that, and giving back to the community, I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
And like, look, when I came here, get back to the story, went off track. The people that foreclosed on said, "Look, we have no money to give you. We're not going to give you a dime." I said, "Okay, how am I going to do this?" They said, "Well, you could sell off anything you want." Okay, no problems. I sold off stages that they owned, tour buses. I mean, you name it, we sold it off. We got enough capital. I think we launched the company on maybe it was $120,000 plus another $200,000 in advances we had. Guys, we have to pay advances. Like, we pay advances for this music. They don't wait for us to sell it. We pay the advance.
Right.
So.
No, we're good. She's just telling us we're at a half
hour.
Okay.
So we pay all the advances.
And we know you've got to.
Yeah, and I got to go. So, but then we go and pay all the advances. We clean everything up. We get the catalog out. And now fast forward 3 years, we look at our Karaoke Cloud site. The thing is, I mean, I'm very proud of it. It looks beautiful. It's a great site. The pro stuff is going really well. We're incorporating Karaoke. We already have 250 locations. It's going to grow to 5 by the end of the year. We're onboarding daily, and look, we're doing what we can for the karaoke industry, and
well,
like really,
we and you as a host, music forever.
Yeah. And you as a host, I mean, you want to start building your business. I mean, how many people call you a week in small bars or during the course of the month?
Every week.
Can you come out for $125? Now, you as a host, now you could turn around and go, know what, sir? For $399, I'm going to supply you with the whole system. Do karaoke as many times as you want.
Yes.
You stick a computer in there.
Yes.
You stick PCDJ Karaoke Guy, our subscription service, Karaoke. You go and you provide the service. You get that up to 10 systems, guys.
It's residual income.
That's 4,000. That's 4,000 a month. That's another 44,000 a year.
And we're going to be talking about that in a future show. We're going to be talking about that brand new product that's being launched as we speak.
Yep.
And we'll have more details on that. But we don't want to hold Joe up. He's got some things he's got to do.
Thank you, sir.
Friend, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, my God. Thank you, honey.
I get to kiss Joni. Bye, y'all.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you do another segment with us
great.
concerning
we'll
everything else.
And all that.
Thank you. I hope this was good.
Oh, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that was Joe from Digitrax.
See, and you just think all the big wig people are, pencil pushers.
No, Joe's a good guy. Joe's a
Experience.
good guy. I got to know Joe over the last 3 years, and I'll tell you something. I can call Joe anytime, and we can talk down to earth. And you've talked to him before. We can talk down to earth and just kind of. He doesn't bullshit you. It's the real deal. And he's right about if you're unsure about the industry, call him. He will talk. He'll answer the phone. Call down here. Call Digitrax. You may leave a message. He may call you back or email or something like that. Joni and I can help you out. Now, our show is totally independent from Digitrax. However, thanks to Digitrax, they're allowing us to use their studio this week again. Thank you, the guys. But if you guys are enjoying these shows, send us an email. Let us know. I'm Hal. This is Joni. Let us know what's going on. Let us know what we can do for you guys. Tune in next week. We're not sure what the subject is going to be about yet, but
we'll find something good.
It's going to be great.
I wanted to ask you before when he said his first song was an Elvis song. What was your first song?
I don't remember. I'm going to be real honest.
Really?
I do not remember. I was scared to death. And I was a performer. I was a DJ. But I was scared to death to get up there. And I sang in college. I sang in high school. I sang in church. But getting up on a stage and singing freaked me the out. And I'm not sure. It wasn't Elvis. It may have been a Bruce Springsteen. It may not have been a Bruce Springsteen. I will think on that one.
The precursor to karaoke, I couldn't tell you what that one was. We had in Pittsburgh.
What was that?
We had a Be a Star night, and the guy took the vocals out of. He did it himself. He had his own. It wasn't pocket songs or anything like that. He took the vocals out of a song, and he had like 20 to pick from. And he'd hand you this piece of paper with the lyrics on it, and he called it Be a Star Night. And when he was just DJing, and then he'd play this organ, da, 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 and he'd call up next is Joni, and that was the first ones. But I don't remember what I sang there. But the first official karaoke on Laserdisc Pioneer that I sang was Midnight Train to Georgia.
Wow. Now, my wife Edie could tell you her first song. We'll talk about that one day. But I can't remember my first song. I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
Yeah, but the one good thing about it though, for me, as I was bartending for a living, that's how I got into this. And the club that I worked at had karaoke, and I would come out from behind the bar and I'd sing a song, and my tips would increase greatly. I was like, this is awesome, right?
So a bartender.
Yeah, so it helped me out. And the owner of that company, he's like, hey, how would you like to do karaoke for me for be a host? And I was like, what's it pay? And he's like, $100 a night. I was like, for how long? He's like, 4 hours. I was like, what if nobody shows up? He goes, you still get paid. I said, what if nobody sings? You still get paid. I was like,
my first gig was.
I'm in. Sign me up.
My first big gig. I know this was $125. That was my very first gig. So and we're a long ways past.
Well, I mean, he charged more than $100.
Right.
He charged 2 or 3, and I got paid $100. Then the guy who set up got paid money. But then I made this.
You had a setup guy?
I had when I first started.
Oh, okay.
But then, naive, stupid me, I have to get that magnet removed. The one that attracts loser men and the one that makes bad decision. I was like, well, I don't need a setup guy. I can do this myself. And he's like, you can carry that equipment. I'm like, yeah. I didn't get paid anymore.
What were you thinking?
But I didn't have to deal with setup guys. So then it was just me. But that, in turn, gave me the experience to leave that company and start my own company.
Right, absolutely.
So it all, everything happens for a reason, whether, it might not be a good reason.
Never look back. And here you are. A few. You know, that was yesterday. That was a minute ago. That was a minute ago. That was a minute ago. But I started out. Yeah, we'll go into that another day. It was a long time ago. We're here to help you guys. Send your questions in. Hey, send us an email. Tell us what your very first karaoke song you sang was, and that address is
KaraokeQNA at gmail.com.
Yeah. Thanks for watching our show, guys. Hope you're enjoying this. Give us some feedback. Check out all the links that are going to be on the YouTube show. We'll see you on the other side.
Bye.